Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. Let's take a look at our uranium processing to start with. We are up to 38 pieces of uranium, which is nearly enough to start the Kovarex enrichment process. So what I'd like to do is build another centrifuge and get that process started. I'm just getting rid of some stuff here that I've collected that I don't need to carry with me. Okay. I need concrete, 1 stack, and steel and red circuits. And then I'll go over some changes I've made since the last episode. I haven't started building the wall yet, but I'd like to get started doing that in today's episode. A couple people said that they would like to see that. Actually, they suggested a time lapse, but I'll just discuss some things here. We'll get Kovarex enrichment set up, and then I'll start building the wall with the rest of the episode, and then I can probably finish it offline. Now, one of the other changes that I made was, I've expanded down here. I've expanded the production of these explosive cannon shells so that we can make artillery ammunition more quickly. Okay, and I've upgraded these to level 3 assemblers, loaded them with speed modules, and those are producing. And then down here, I've also added a machine to start making assembler 3s, which require speed modules. So I've got 3 machines making speed modules with speed modules to keep this moving at a reasonable speed. And they're starting to accumulate, and I've got 200 of them already loaded in my train. My train is pretty much full now, so this baby's ready for action. The only thing we don't have are beacons and speed modules, and actually we should start making beacons at a high rate. So let's get that set up. Actually, I don't need that. I'll just use a blue one. There we go. Well, maybe I should use one of these because these are rather slow to craft. Okay, and then we'll load that up with speed modules. Oops, wrong recipe. Beacons. Okay, so this needs steel. Ooh, copper cable. Okay, so let's make it over here instead. That way we can pull, we can pull some of this stuff directly off of the belts, since it's going to be hard to get all those things in here. There's iron, which we don't need for this. All right. Yep, so we'll need that there. That'll pull in the steel. Yeah, we can put this here. Okay, we're going to need more stone. Or no, that's concrete, right? All right, so let's goes down some more concrete. I'll just fill in this entire area here. to there, let's say. Okay. Let's grab a little bit of landfill. There we go. Okay, and then down here, we'll put the, whoops, no, just the blue one. We'll put the copper wire. Okay, yeah, and then we should turn that the right way. Wow, that takes a lot. Well, we'll leave it. It should be, no, that should be a stack inserter, I think. How many copper wires does it take? 10. Okay, yeah, so let's do this. Okay, and then that'll go into a passive provider, and we'll set a limit on that, which should be quite a lot. I don't know, we'll say 100 to begin with. Okay, so let me show you what I've done. So once I started building all this stuff, right, this is consuming now a lot of explosives and plastic, which was putting a significant drain on my refinery. And what I was finding is that I was running low on plastic. That was causing red circuits to slow down. It was causing plastic itself to slow down, which means that low density structures were slow, and as a result, my science has slowed down quite a bit, particularly the high-tech science packs. Okay, and we're still kind of in that situation, although now we are doing better. So what I did is I put productivity modules in the plastic plants, and then I also added 50% more. Right, so there's 12 now instead of 8. If you look at the crafting speed, you can see that crafting speed is reduced by 45%. So I figured if I increase the number of buildings by 45%, or 50% in this case, but actually I think my math is wrong. I think I need to double it. Right, because minus 45% is like half, so I need twice as many. So let's put a couple more down. I'll put down 4 more. If I can fit them in here. Yeah, it looks like I can, just barely. Great. Okay, those have to be flipped. Throw in some prod modules. Connect those with pipes. There we go. Okay, and then I need to get the petroleum down here as well. There. Okay. So this should get us roughly the same amount of plastic as we were getting before in terms of pieces per minute. But then we've also, actually it'll give us a little bit more because we have 12% productivity on top of this. So we should be getting more plastic and using roughly the same amount of petroleum as we were previously. And then over here, I added productivity modules to all this, right, for the acid and the sulfur. In this case, I also added a couple beacons with speed modules to get the speed back up. So these are now crafting faster than before and also with a 12% productivity bonus. Okay, and that's so that we can make lots of artillery ammunition. Solid fuel I haven't changed. The refineries, I put speed modules. And at first I was thinking, well, let's put productivity modules and then put speed beacons. But if I look at my oil well, you can see that I'm still pumping more than enough oil to feed it. So I thought, well, I'll just put speed modules in the refineries. We'll consume more oil, or we'll consume the oil faster, but we'll get a higher speed bonus. And then I went up here and I still had the gun turrets up here. I don't know how it survived that long, but I went up here and put laser turrets, and I put a few flame turrets up there as well, so that can stay protected. Although that'll soon be within our new defensive perimeter, and I'll be able to get rid of those walls. But for now, that's where they are. And then over here, I didn't do anything with this. And then over here for the cracking, I added productivity and speed as well. Okay, so the net result of all that is that now I have nearly full tanks of petroleum. Looks like I actually have more heavy oil than I need. And I've got plenty of light oil. I think that, well, we'll have to keep an eye on it. That heavy oil might fill up at some point. And if that's the case, then I might need to put more heavy oil cracking over there to get rid of the excess. But anyway, this helped a lot with the petroleum situation. Okay, coal is running low. I am feeding solid fuel over to the smelting, although really I should put this. Yeah, let's do this by belt instead. This is a little awkward. All right, so what I can do now, this we need to keep as coal because that goes to plastic, so that has to be coal. Oh, and I also have some coal going onto the bus. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. And then There, we'll just feed it. We'll just feed all the smelting solid fuel. Okay, and then the leftover coal will go onto the bus where I'm using it for what? Military science. Yeah, for grenades. Fortunately, I have some grenades buffered, but that's going to run out soon. Right, and the main problem here is just that I'm running out of coal. So I'm going to need more coal very soon. There's some up here, so I'll be able to get more coal before very long. Iron is almost completely mined out. But yeah, we do need to get more coal down here as soon as we can. Okay, and then over here, I put down a bunch more solar arrays, except where this stone is. I built around this stone patch, and then I just put some mining drills in that are feeding into passive provider chests. And then the bots can pick that up. And I have the bots basically bringing it over here. Right, so this is just kind of a lazy way to not belt it. And then that's going onto the stone that feeds into the smelting, you know, for the stone brick, the concrete, the landfill. Right, so that uses a lot of bots and they have to travel a long distance, but it's okay. I'm not doing a lot of heavy logistic bot work here, so it's not a problem. Okay, so let's go set up Kovarex enrichment. Hopefully it is ready now. And then we'll start working on the new wall. And I'm going to make the new wall very much like the current wall because the current wall seems to be working fine. I'm not going to do the, what do they call it, the dragon's teeth or whatever. Okay, we've got 44 now, so that's more than enough. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'll set this up, I don't know, right here. And one machine will be enough for now. We'll set up Kovarex enrichment. We'll need some power. And let's add a light or two. Okay, so this needs 235 and 238, and it outputs 235 and 238, which is quite simple. All right, so I'll put a request here for, actually, I'm not going to request the 235. I'm just going to take it and put it in there. I do need to request 238 because that's got to be continuously refilled. And I'll put that in there, and I'm going to load it with some speed modules. Eventually we'll do level 3 modules. Okay, so this consumes 40 uranium 235, and it's going to give us 41 at the cost of 3 238s. Right, so this is how we can basically just start producing as much 235 as we want and consuming all the excess 238 that we've got. In fact, I think what I'll do, I'll take these last 3 and we'll set these up to do the same thing. They won't actually be able to start producing yet because we haven't got enough 238 for it yet. But eventually we'll get those guys in on the scene here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. I'm going to use a, actually I'm not going to get these 2 guys going yet. And actually I don't need that either. Okay, I need a filter inserter. So I want this to take out the 235. Okay. And then that can go there. I'll put it in a provider chest, and then we'll feed it back in. Oh, okay, let's use, okay, let's use a regular chest for now. Okay, so what I'd like to do is put in the 40 that we need and take out anything above 40. So how could we do that? First of all, we could tell this to turn on only when we have more than 40, or let's say greater than or equal to. Oh, okay, and then we also need to take out let's see, I need another filter inserter because we need to take out the 238 as well. Okay, that's not going to work. Let's see. There was a way to do this. All right, we'll tell you what, I'm just going to do this the simplistic way. What you could do is you could program some kind of a circuit to control this so that you only put in 40, and then because that's all you need to start the next process, and then the extra one comes out so that you can use that to feed these other machines. But I'm just going to let it go like this for a while. And then when I've got enough, because the machine will always try to load twice as much as what it needs for the process. So this will continue to eat up all of the uranium-235 until we have at least 80, and then it'll start leaving the extra in the chest. Okay, so now it'll have, it'll have more extra in here. All right, so that's not a big deal. We'll just have to wait a little bit longer to start making fuel, but that's okay because we've got time. There, we'll put in another one. Actually, maybe I should just make that a requester chest. I'll request from buffers, and I'm going to request 80. Okay, so that way if any more gets produced, it'll get brought down here. Okay, and I'll move these power poles just so it stops flashing at us. Okay, so now we're going to be producing more, a little bit slowly to be sure, but it'll get the job done. We've got a crafting speed of 1.4, 60 seconds each, so it'll be, I don't know, something like 30, 40 seconds per cycle. So it won't take too long before we've got plenty. And then we can get it, and then once we have 40 extra, then I can get a second machine started. And then in half the amount of time that took, I'll be able to get the third machine started. And then at that point, we'll just be cranking out more uranium than we'll ever need for the rest of the game, probably. one thing we have to be careful of is not to consume too much of the 238, because you can actually get to a situation, because the fuel cells take one 235 and 19 238s. Okay. And then the spent fuel cells you can reprocess and turn back into 238s as well. So the net ratio is, I think, 13 uranium 238 for each 235. As long as you have at least 13 238s for every 235 that you have, then you can continue to make fuel cells until you run out of uranium. But if you use up too much of the 238 to make 235, then you can get to the point where you don't have enough 238 to make the fuel cells. So once we get this running automatically, we'll just set up a circuit to count the numbers, to count the contents of each type, and make sure that if we get below a 13-to-1 ratio, then we'll just stop this process for a while and wait until we build up more 238 and then start it up again. Okay. All right. So let's start working on the wall. So the first thing I like to do, actually I should go and I think we should do this by train, right? Since the train's got all the supplies. So the first thing that we'll need to do is run a rail from here down to, I guess what I could do is come down this way. Although I don't know if I want to go on this same track. Because then I'll need to put signals on it. I should really turn this into a two-way rail with signals and everything. Because this is going to be the closest wall, I think, to where we have some existing structures and not too many bad guys around. I have been shelling a lot of the bases around, but you can see there's not too much left over. Most of these red spots left around here are worms. Okay, well, you know what? This is only going to be for me to access it, so I'll just build rail directly south to where I need to go. That shouldn't be a problem. All right, and then I'll throw in a few signals to make sure that we don't accidentally run into each other. Okay, we're almost out of iron. Actually, we can speed this up a bit, because we can get 2 drills acting on these remaining bits. There we go. So it doesn't give us any more ore, but it does allow us to get it out of the ground faster. Okay. Yeah, and I still need that stone thing. All right, so now I've got a belt full of plastic, which is fantastic. All right, so I'm going to enter the train from this end. Let me grab some rail sections. Yeah, I'll just fill up what I can carry. And I've already got some signals and stuff. All right, so I think I'm all set. Let's roll out. All right, I am in manual mode. Okay, do I still have that landfill with me? I think I used it all, but fortunately, I've got some. All right. All right, and I'm not gonna, this train is not gonna need to go up there, so this is fine the way that it is. We'll put 2 signals there. We'll put 2 signals there, and we'll put 2 signals there. And actually, let's make that a chain signal. So if there's a train down there already, it'll wait up here. And let's make that a chain signal for the same reason. And actually, while we're at it, let's make this a chain signal. Actually, that's not necessary, but that's the proper way to do it. Okay, so let me try something. I should be able to control click on the track, and the train will go there temporarily. Awesome. Nope. I don't want you to be automatic. Okay. All right, so the path down there is clear. I'm just going to go ahead and go. In my massive... Yikes. My massive train. We're going to need some braking force research. This thing does not want to slow down. All right. All right, so again, another junction here. Coming down this way, we want a chain signal. And a regular one. And then we want a chain signal here. We want a chain signal there. And then standard signal on the opposite sides. And let me extend this out a bit so we can get clear of that junction. And this way I can, once I get past those signals, then the iron train will be free to come back down. All right, let's see. Yeah, so it's clear to go in there. It's got a green signal. This one is blue, but yeah, it'll go in. Wonderful. Okay, and while I am close, let's give that gun a little bit more ammo. It's not much more, but it'll help. And something over here needs repair. So let's get that taken care of. And actually I should add a stack of repair packs. There. Oh, and one thing I forgot to do was to make the blueprint for the wall. So we'll do that next time. Okay, so a little trick you can do when you're laying rail is just put down one section and you can just run it in front of yourself like that, at least until you come across an obstacle. Okay, yeah, let's go a little bit further. Clear those trees. Oh, okay. Yeah, now my my turrets are going crazy. So actually I should head back because that's going to trigger an attack. All right, so I'm going to go back to main return. I'll wait until it's done clearing that base. Yeah, and then let's get out of here before they all get to where I am. they're destroying the track. Great. And they're probably not going to stop anytime soon either. So I should go down there and deal with that. All right, wait for me, please. Oh, okay. I guess they've stopped attacking. Okay, I guess I'm all right. I'll let that go. Okay, so what I want to do next is create a blueprint for the wall. Okay, so I'm going to grab one full section. And I'll paste it down right here, let's say. And we're going to use this just to make the design. All right, and I essentially want to do the same thing, but with more turrets. And I want it to be tileable in both directions. Let's see. So one thing I could do is I could just add another turret on either side of the ones that are there already. Yeah. It doesn't quite line up to do a continuous row of turrets, and I don't think we really need a continuous row of turrets either. So that's why I don't want to do that. Everything else is fine the way that it is, really. Well, I'm happy with that. Let's see, is it control? Or is it shift? No, control C. And then maybe it's shift. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Wall. Give it a descriptive name. Okay, and then I'm going to put that in there. This I'm going to delete. Well, no, I don't want to destroy it. Did I already put it in my library? I don't think I did. Okay, so let's export this to the library, and then I can delete it. Upgrade planar I'm going to keep. The solar I'm going to keep. And the wall I'm going to keep. Okay. And then I'll hit Control X to cut. Okay, and we're ready to go. So we'll continue this in the next episode. I'll go down to where this little wall thing is, and we'll start to build a wall. I'm going to need to run power down there, of course, but that won't be too difficult. Looks like a lot of my power poles are starting to disappear little by little. But yeah, we'll run power. We'll start to build the wall, and then once we have turrets and stuff, then it should become more easy. Oh, actually, I forgot something. Let me put this where I have some more room. What I forgot is I want to add rail. Because I want to be able to take my train all around the wall. And eventually I will have a supply train that goes around as well. And the supply train, I think, is just going to be unidirectional. I'll have it go clockwise all the way in a loop and then come back. And then periodically, I'll build one of these to put a supply stop, you know, to drop off repair packs and things like that. Okay, but I do want to include that in the print. So Control and then Shift. There we go. Now it's a wall. Okay, and then this old wall we can delete. All right, yeah, so this is going to be the wall. And hopefully it'll be enough. I think it will be, especially when we get a turret train going around. And I mean, just like we are now, I've got artillery and stuff, and even this very basic wall with relatively few turrets has been more than enough. We can check our evolution factor. It's 0.892. I think we do have... Maybe we don't have behemoths yet. All right. Yeah, I don't see any behemoth biter kills yet, so probably they have not yet appeared in the game. I thought they came out at 85% evolution factor, but maybe it's a higher number than that. Maybe it's 90 or 95. I'll have to check. But that's I guess that's the main thing I'm concerned about. Like with the biters as they are now, these defenses are more than sufficient, right? But once the big behemoth biters make an appearance in the game, those are going to be harder to kill. So I'm hoping that having 3 times as many laser turrets will do the job. And then once we have all that, then at that point we're really going to need the nuclear power. Speaking of which, let's check and see how our uranium is doing. There's 42 in there. Oh, okay. So I think I have enough to get the second machine started. Let's go do that. I've got no solid fuel. Oh, okay. It's because I've already used up all the extra light oil that I had. Oh, but that's bad because I need that for smelting. All right. I need... Inventory is full. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. What happened to the pumps that I picked up? I know I picked one up. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'll remove the limit on the solid fuel. Actually, I'm going to have to put a limit on the cracking, since I'm now completely dependent on solid fuel. All right, so we'll only crack when light oil is greater than, I don't know, 1,000. Okay, so the priority will be on the solid fuel, because we got to make sure that we are continuing to smelt plates. That's more important than petroleum. Plates before petro. Okay, great. So now we can load up another machine, and we'll simply copy that there. Let's go ahead and copy that there. I'm going to need to handcraft some filters. Yeah, great. And now we have 2 of them in on the action. All right, and then once we have another 40 available, I'll get the 3rd one going. And at that point, what I'll do is, at that point, I'll have to do something to get the extra uranium out. So at that point, I'll probably just switch over to requester chests. Like I'll just put the uranium into an active provider and then use requester chests to load it in once I have 120 of them total. Okay, good. So we're making good progress here. That'll do it for today. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.